Good night. Today, I would like to talk to you about the usual simple Linux distribution, in which, as it were, no special knowledge is required. The first thing people encounter when they start switching to GNU Linux is something unusual, and in this case, I would like to recommend a distribution based, or rather a distribution that comes with the X versus shell. Why is it versus? Because it is equipped with quite good functionality, which is much higher than that of well, and is not overloaded with something special. There are two options here: either install a regular subunit or another distribution, or try some kind of assembly. For example, I put together such a thing for myself. Here. That is, there is the same thing as a mini start, the same tray switch of the keyboard language when hiding windows, well, as if my computer is not here, but there is a kind of home folder in Linux. Here is such a file manager here. Of course, virtual boxing will slow down, because you understand, this is an emulator. In fact, this shell is quite fast, very nimble. What programs have I pre-installed here? I put either Office for one here, then I put the Clementine audio player here, in which there is quite a lot of functionality. But the ALS mixer is for fine-tuning the microphone and other audio devices of the CD. It's a pretty powerful video editor. Record Midic Stop is a program for recording video from the monitor screen, which I use now. Everyone is familiar with the standard volume control, the cheese recording program from the webcam of the browser. The disk recording program, another mixer. I am Uda City, an easy audio editor. What is the quality of the internet? Clav Smile is a very light email client Dropbox, cloud storage Google Chrome browser Midori for weak computers. That is, if the machine is weak, Google Chrome loads, and load Muri, and everything will be pretty fast. Well, you all know that Weaver is a very useful thing, especially if someone needs help with setting up a distribution, or something else. Transmission is an easy torrent, so the tools here are all standard, that we have calculators here, we are terminal games, yes. I don't play especially the graph, well, I dabble a little in photos because I put them here in the studio because I shoot RAF. GIMP is such an analog of Photoshop. I will not refer it to analogs. This is a kind of program, and there is no point in comparing it. Someone says that she is no worse. Someone says that it is worse for me to grab her by the eyes. I realized over time that the reasons for my desire to go back to Photoshop were only that. The fact that I was too lazy to figure it out. I figured out a lot of things, and now, as it were, I use only GIMP. So, as for RAW in the studio. Sort of. RAW in the studio is a very light brav, like a program for RAF processing. Actually, there are more powerful. There are programs similar to Lidrom that have more features, but I just put this here so that there would be something at least for a start. So, Vine 1 and 6 is for those who still can't wait to launch some good old Windows with a program without which they can't live, on which they have not yet found null. So, what do we have in the system here? In the system here, we have a normal human archiver added here. I'm not saying that everyone else is worse. Human in terms of the fact that a standard archiver will seem minimalistic and inconvenient to an ordinary user. And the BioShip is just very pretty good, and a good replacement for WinRAR. Here, I have not installed localization, but it's all set up in 3 seconds. That is, look, here we choose the language. Ops, you see the program is Russified. A simple, fairly functional archiver. What else do I want to say? I want to say that all this will perfectly replace Windows 7 Starter on a netbook. On a laptop, you still won't run turbo-powerful games of any kind at all. And on a gigabyte window, and on the simplest dual-core Atom of some kind, the 7 will slow down as, I don't know, like a cow in an ice palace on a skating rink, right? But this distribution will fly. Everything will work quickly. And now, as it were, to say that there are no games at all for Linux, it would be better not to say it at all. Because there is Steam, there is Life, Death, there is Half-Life, there is a Counter-Strike, and a bunch of games are being ported now. Not bad, cool. So it is possible, and it is possible to play. There is an application center here. Now it will start slowly, because it is a virtual box. Come on, ops. Here, the application center is something like this App Store, Google Store, or there as in Windows. Although this application center appeared in Riot much earlier than it appeared in Windows, but it's all the same. Here you can buy the app, here you can download the app. There are about 70% of all applications free, and the remaining 30 paid. There's a bunch of everything. Programs for burning disks, add-ons for the terminal, some such some observatories, some programs, right. All sorts of extensions, video players, edit programs, raster editors, there are all sorts. Vector editors. Then toys, all sorts of turn-based strategies, all sorts of, well, a lot of things. So, Internet, Office, extension themes, system. In fact, the length of the software is very much. That is, it is a very simple distribution for not particularly powerful computers. As for the drivers, few Linux drivers are already built into the kernel. The only thing you may need to install is a video driver. They will be offered to you automatically. Here you see he found some kind of virtual side device, right? When you have an 80 or NVIDIA or Intel video card installed, the proposed Wii driver will be written here. And you select the necessary drivers, activate there, for example NVIDIA, yes, there is a driver 319th. This is like a test. 304 on the else, this is the default offer. That is, you click, activate, and before that, you can update the system. It is updated very simply. As you can see, I didn't get into the terminal. So, the update manager, let's say we click. All this will work automatically. It will be. The system will automatically offer you to upgrade. Because if it has, it will find something. Oops. You see 264 megabytes. 64 megabytes at a time. As for where to get the software. In Linux, everything works like this. No need to surf the internet and write for free, without CS, without registration, download the program. No need to look for Firefox, Chrome, or anything else. Just go to the Application Center, search for the program there. If you do not have this program, then you will. You can find additional repositories somewhere on the site. The so-called PyPI. That is, and it will be written there how to open it. You can open a terminal, after all. You will probably have to open a terminal to add some kind of program and install an additional repository. Or you download a dep package, that is, let's say like in the Macintosh app, there are dimg packages, here are dep packages. Each distribution has a different RPM dep there, or something else like that. You download the dep package, click on it. Everything is simple and install, as if there is nothing complicated. So, there is one last stable shell here. There are 4. For example, here we have sound parameters, here we have change the connection, internet parameters, Wi-Fi. Everything is perfectly defined. Here are the wireless mobile vVendals. Thank you for your attention.